Well deserved. Well deserved. You know, there's a sense of professionalism that you have to uphold within this league, and I failed to do so. So, you know, take full responsibility for it. Obviously, in the event anyone gets hurt, you know, I'm taking full responsibility for it. So, you know, you just don't want to have situations like that. But, you know, in the competition and competitive standpoint, I think it absolutely deserves to go in the stands still. You know, you just don't play basketball like that. You know, it's as simple as that. It's just, you just don't. And, you know, there's a tradition and a respect within the league as well as in any basketball game. You know, obviously you've won the game, you have it sealed, had a great game of your life, and then, you know, you do something like that. And it's just petty, it's immature, and, you know, we'll see him again though.
It does seem like league-wide that's like an unwritten rule that everybody kind of follows. Is that fair to say?
I mean, when everyone knows the intent of it, I think it just makes it clear of like what's going on. You know, just, you know, obviously I'm watching, and I'm watching the play at the end of the game, and I'm just watching to see if he's really going to shoot the ball. And, you know, it's just so thirsty of a player to just go after something like that. You know, clearly 50 points is a big deal, but get it within regulation. Take it at your, you know, take it as a man, get your free throws, and get to 50 points. But you don't wait until the end of the game when everyone's not playing to just launch up a shot and then nonchalantly go like this as if it doesn't even matter. You know, so it's just a tradition in the league, but it's just immature. So.
Is that something like he's obviously a younger guy in the league, or is that something guys even know? Like when you're in high school, you're in college.
He knew. He knew. And it's not like I hold any resentment towards it, but it's just, you know, hopefully going forward after this, he just doesn't do anything like that. It's just, you've seen guys throughout the league. You know, I believe there was an incident in Indiana when Lance Stevens took a layup at the end and they were playing against Toronto. And it's just instances, experiences that everyone has. It's just, you just don't do that in the NBA. You know, in any game, just a respect for your opponent. And I felt disrespected after the game. So, you know, your career high ball goes in the stands.
Is this something that can kind of spark you guys and bring you guys together?
I think it's just try to enjoy this road trip as much as we can, especially being in the sunshine right now. You know, we had a great practice today. It was brief, but we needed it, just getting up and down a little bit, feeling good about ourselves, and just come out and play well against Phoenix. You know, playing every other day for the last couple games, probably hit a few guys a little bit in fatigue, but there's no excuses on our end. We just got to continue to be better and just will ourselves to being the best team in this league eventually. So that's our goal, and that's where I'm headed.
So Devin Booker is getting, you know, a lot of talks to potentially maybe be an all-star this season or within the next couple of years. What can you say about him and his game and how it's impressed you so far?
I mean, well, I don't want to say he's underrated at all. I think that sometimes it's a little unfair to him, you know, being a leader of a team where the pieces around him aren't necessarily all that great. You know, for the last few years, he's had to deal with that, injuries. I've been in a position similar to his you know, at this point in his career. You know, he's a great friend of mine, so talking with him and seeing him in the summer and spending time with him, you always get a good sense of, you know, what a killer looks like, and he's absolutely a killer. You know, I'm just a huge fan of where he is now and where he can go. So just want him to stay level-headed, and, you know, the environment, don't let it diminish who you are as talent. And obviously, a lot of the other young guys in this league are just getting a lot of attention for stats that they're putting up or, you know, what they're doing in their respective conferences. But, you know, Devin's all right along with those guys in terms of talent, if not more talented than certain guys in this league. So as you can see, I'm a big believer in Devin. You know, I just want to see him do well.
Brad said you guys have stretches where you play just beautiful basketball and then stretches where you just waste possessions. How would you evaluate kind of how things are fitting together on the offensive end and where you guys need to take?
I mean, well, it's just going to take games experience, man. Yeah. That's all. Understanding just the value of being on a team like this where, you know, teams can play carefree against us, but we can't play carefree against other teams. It's just not in our nature. And if we start getting into a battle back and forth of going who can score more points and, you know, who can go up and down and do everything exciting and stuff like that, we have to be a disciplined team, and, you know, we still have to learn how to get to that point. So, you know, the possessions where we come down, shoot 17 on the clock, 18 on the clock, depending on the player, depending on the role, depending on the situation in the game, it all has to be conscious of everyone on the floor, including the coaches. So it's all a responsibility for us as individuals, but us as a group to hold each other to a higher standard.
Did you expect there to be some growing pains with you coming back, Gordon coming back, kind of, you know, mixing new rotations, all that stuff? I mean, is none of this really a surprise?
Long season, man. Long season. So like I said, I just try to enjoy it as much as possible. Even, through the pain, or when we're not looking as great. I said in the beginning of the season, it's a challenge for all of us, and you just got to see it as that, and set your goals high.
How do you assess where you guys are 10 games in?
Just try to build that consistency. That's all. Until then, I think that once we put a few games together, even in the tough ones, just where it may look like the team may have control of the game, but we still have the will of a disciplined team, of knowing what shots we need to take, knowing where we need to be, the pace that we need to play with, the physicality, and that's when you start seeing the separation of the good from the great teams. All the other teams right now, you can get away with playing against some of the tier teams in this league, and they'll still be in the game with you because you're not playing as hard. Your defensive breakdowns are just not as sharp, and you just get away with it because of the regular season game. But once you realize that you have the potential to be very special, and it's realized amongst all of us, then we'll be all right.
You're a guy who kind of seems to appreciate greatness in different forms. What did you take from meeting with Peyton Manning?
I was great, man. I mean, he's a championship winner. He's a unbelievable preparer of the game. He's doing it for so long, thinking about the injuries he had to endure. It was great to see him, just come and talk to our team. I mean, just being in Denver and just having just the echelon of greatness like that coming. It's nothing like it. So
There's a play last night. It's gotten a lot of buzz on social media where he appeared to use your knee to. Was that intentional? Is that like part of your? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do, but I've been asked that question a few times. I don't know, man. Whether it was instinctual by mistake, I don't know, man.
Is that something you've done like before? It's hard. We didn't even pick it up in real time.
I don't know, man. It just happened.
How much of your ball handling is just improvisational like that?
Most of it, yeah. But it comes from just a fundamental, way I play the game, just how I've worked on just starting with the fundamentals of crossover between the legs, behind the back, and just adding combinations to it.
You're one of the hardest guys in this league to defend. What advice would you have for teams that are playing against you on how to stop you?
I have no advice.